Hello friends and welcome again to our AIS and Surya Ayurveda's Facebook platform to share with you some another aspect in our well-being as well as an obstacle in our life toward the wellness journey. And today I'm going to share with you about our habits and thoughts, what these are and how they can play a role in my well-being, as well as how they are the biggest obstacle for me to follow my wellness path. Because what Ayurveda share with us, that all our ailment, no matter whatever type of the ailments are, physical, mental, emotional, they all relate with our habits and our thoughts. And there is a one simple saying that we are slave of our habits. Now, first we need to understand how habits get formed. Habits start from the very beginning of our life. The moment one is born, mother and fathers around that little one are the key element that influence the little one. And as the little one keep growing from the age of 2 onwards, you can see the child will pick up various habits. Yes, you might say that child cannot speak, but you always need to remember, child always observe the way you communicate, the way you eat, the way you behave around him or her, the child is able to pick up. Our ancient texts very clearly say that even the child is in the womb of the mother, he or she can listen what someone is talking about around him. And that happened from month of 6th, 7th, 8th onward. So that is where our habits comes up. And those habits, how my parent, mom and dad are behaving, communicating, eating, what you are doing around them when they sit and child is in the lap or around on the chair sitting, child will keep picking up, and that becomes the pattern of habits. And now then, when mother and father start feeding the child, that child will get used to those things, whatever the mom and child are feeding, whether they feed pizza or whether they feed him nice porridge, whether the child get feed with the popcorns or with some nice nuts and seed. These are the habits which little one will slowly pick up. And then comes the thought pattern. Now thoughts again are, certain patterns are inbuilt. This is where in Ayurveda we talk about sattvic, rajasic, tamasic component. And again, these three qualities which are dominated in our mind, which is the biggest component in Ayurveda as far as the psychology component comes up and the thoughts pattern comes up, because that impact on your physical brain. So thought is also something which little one will start picking up the pattern from people around him or her. First, teachers are mom and dad, and slowly when the little one start going out, whether it is in the preschools or then later on with his or her friends around in the school or somewhere, different thoughts start building up. And those thoughts can also influence the habit, and those habits become the real traits, imprints which sometimes are very good, sometimes they are the worst. And they become the core cause of our ailment. That is how Ayurveda talk about. And that's why it becomes difficult when various kind of disease one is suffering, whether it is simple hay fever or even cancer. And when they being advised by an Ayurvedic practitioner that these are the habits, these are the thoughts you need to change, and they will help you in your well-being journey. Even though the person is very much aware that whatever I am being advised by my practitioner, it really makes sense, but it becomes the most difficult part to make those changes. And in those changes, the biggest obstacles come of my thought, which again I have acquired from my upbringing, from my surroundings where I have been. So in that situation, what happens? Person will always try to look for easy pathway. What is easy pathway? Go toward the habits which has been there for years and never would like to make changes, even though those changes he or she know are ultimate solution of my problem. And that is the reason that sometimes many of us will find a little bit hard to follow Ayurvedic principles in totality, and then we deprive ourselves from our well-being. And then we always try to look at simple solution, either the habits which my mom and dad has given, that whenever you have pain, go for Panadol. If you have more serious problem, we will take you to the GP, and antibiotics are your solution. And that's how the little one grown, and when you are teen or all that part, have seen mom and dad drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, cigarettes, or eating heavily those kind of food items, which ultimately can be the core cause. They will naturally go with that. And even with the parents, when parents bring their children to an Ayurvedic practitioner, and that Ayurvedic practitioner, if he or she is following a traditional Ayurvedic principle and not the type of the Ayurveda which start becoming more and more popular nowadays, where Ayurvedic practitioner also going on the same trend as every other practitioner in the world, that focusing and bombarding the patients with a lot of supplement and not making any changes in their habits and thoughts, and those people like them on the name of Ayurveda. But such practitioner does not know that what harm they are doing in those people who came with this hope that this practitioner will help me, to guide me, and will be different from other practitioners who have bombarded me with all the time supplement or medicine. And because that is the synonymous of Ayurvedic practitioner, that you have to identify the incompatible habits of your patient, incompatible thoughts which are causing the problem in that individual, and boldly make changes. Why, as a Ayurvedic practitioner, one will stutter while giving the right advice? Because they themselves has never made an attempt to give up those habits which are their core problem, and they are very much aware. And they are very much aware from the very first day they join the courses to become an Ayurvedic practitioner. And the reason why they want to become Ayurvedic practitioner, because they know that Ayurveda is the only hope now in the world for their well-being. And that is for sure. We all know, if we have some conscious alive with us, irrespective whatever you are, whether an Ayurvedic practitioner or not, whether you are a modern medicine's practitioner or follower or any other complementary medicine, you all know that if people in the world will start changing their habits, start listening and understanding that all my incompatible thoughts and my pattern of wrong habits, if I remove them, not only I will become healthy, but the surroundings will also become healthy. We can create a healthy society around us. Healthy society will become responsible for healthy country. And all what we are seeing around us nowadays can change. And for sure, there will be not any disease left to handle. But yes, I agree. This is easy for me to say, but very difficult to get implemented. And that's where the sad part comes up. We as a practitioner see that this person can really get out of the trouble what he or she is going. But the problem is, when you tell them that these are the habits you have to change, that's where they try to find someone else who might not force them to make the changes. And sad part is that after 5 years or 10 years, that person has to come back to that practitioner who has given him or her at the first place that these habits you will change, then you can get better. But by that time it is too late. And as I said, in various ailments in the children, parents' role is so huge, but then even though they know that my child can get better, I'm talking about the issues like ADHD or autism, where parents' role is so much bigger, but because they have to sacrifice their habits and sacrifice their thoughts, they are not keen, and they feel that I am doing my moral duty to take my child to the doctor, and whatever the medicine he or she is giving, I am fine with that. And that's what the problems are, what we face all the time. But when the child will grow and down the track will come to know that if my mom and dad would have looked into more seriously towards my problem and would have made an effort to change the surroundings, because the surroundings are going to build up the habits, and then also change their thoughts so that I can pick up the right thought, I would not have end up where I am today. So that is where Ayurveda tells us that we must understand that whatever I am suffering today is due to my incompatible habits. Incompatible habits will come in regard to my lifestyle, regarding my diet, and that's what the biggest part I have to change. And then comes in my thoughts which are incompatible, and I will make choices of my greed, anger, frustration, hatred, jealous, possessions. That kind of thoughts is what make me towards not letting create that harmony either in myself or in surrounding, and that's what we keep suffering. So let's understand that no ailment will go away ever and you will always be slave of those medicine if you are not interested to change your habits and thoughts. And same message I would like to pass on to those who want to become an Ayurvedic practitioner, that this science is not for you if you are not making changes to eliminate your incompatible habits and incompatible thought. And one thing and one message to all, that look, we think that by not eliminating my incompatible habits and thought, I can win over the battle which I am going through. Will never. And not only the battle in this lifetime, but the other battle which we try to work towards is what we call as liberation, moksha. Whether you are a follower of Ayurveda, whether you are a follower of yoga, or doing some kind of meditation by closing your eyes, we will never end up anywhere if we don't change our habits and thoughts. Habits and thoughts are the only way to clean your basket, which is full of the sin, which are having dark layer on our conscious, which are hindering our higher journey, and you will never be able to go anywhere toward that path. No matter how loud you chant Om or other mantras, they will be of no use. We all should look at, and that is what this science is all about. That is why this science is totally unique and different from any modality. And that is why everyone is so much strongly fighting against Ayurveda on the name of not being a scientific science, not being any validity with the research or other things. But sad part is they don't understand. It is not that they don't understand. They know that this is such a practical science, and whatever we are looking for on the name of researches and evidence, which is lab-based, this science provides us all those evidence and all those researches in this living body. And that where our, again, habits and thoughts. Once we are able to make those changes, we can see how quickly our upward journey goes and how our well-being embraces us. So that's the message I thought I will pass on today, that be a bit aware about yourself. This is the time for all of us to sit and not be slave of our habits and thought. Make simple changes. And this is not that difficult. That is why when an Ayurvedic doctor giving you daily routines, daily regimes, whether it is waking up in the morning and brush and scrap, brush your teeth, scrap your tongue, have your morning detox, your nasya treatment for your all the hormonal imbalances you are suffering and becoming slave of the patches all the time in your hormonal up and downs, have to suffer from brain fog and then sleep disorders and then go to the magnesium and melatonin. You don't need those things. You just need to listen what has been given to you to make changes in your habits. Give up those habits which will be identified by an Ayurvedic doctor that these are incompatible. The moment he or she says, remove them from your life. And then the thoughts which that doctor will give you, that you need to amend, and he will give you the process how to deal with them. Follow that. Make changes and have a wonderful life for years to come. Thanks everyone.